Welcome back. It's been months, and everything kind of looks a little different. Why? You see my face now. I've I've done a couple of videos where I just talk into a mic. I think it's this mic. I got a million mics, so I don't know. But either way, this is a little bit more formal than how I do my other videos. And this is actually going to be completely different from what I usually talk about. My last video was Brilliant Algebra, and I think the one before that was my golf cart video on ultimate driving. Just in case you don't know, I own a company, AT Products LLC. We web design, we web develop, we do front end, back end, stuff like that. We design websites, we make websites, we host them, we just do everything that is on the web, online, stuff like that. And today we're also demonstrating something that's been in the works since Christmas Eve, since our last version, 2.23.2. It is really hard to pronounce them sometimes, but either way, we're demonstrating 2.24. Release is on February 11th, 2026 at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is usually our standards. We always release versions at Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time because we've been doing it for the past 2 years, maybe 3 years, very close since like 2022, 2023, and I might stutter a lot, so excuse me for that. But it is pretty big. It's the first update of 2026, and it seems like every first update of the year, like 2025, and not really 2024, but 2023, has something to offer. Very big, very, major compared to other versions of the year. In this case, 2024 is titled the Redesign Update. Why is it like that? Well, first, let me demonstrate the changelog we typed out and why I'm actually doing this in a video format. Because, look at this wall of text. Look at it. You might notice it's a lot of text, but it is also a lot of bullet points, and a lot of bullet points that really don't go into detail as much as I would like it to, because it's a changelog. It's not really meant to demonstrate anything. But a video, it's meant to be a little bit more engaging. I'm demonstrating the version on, this video as well, because it's just a wall of text. Who likes to read walls of text? I do, you might not. So, this might be a little bit more better if I just show you in video format of kind of what I'm doing as a company. And yes, I did say me as a company because it's mostly just me. There's a couple other people who help along the way, and don't worry, they're going to get their recognition in a little bit. But for right now, let me just demonstrate what I've been doing over the past couple months. So, as you can see, in the first, sentence, 2.24 is finally here, being the first update of 2026, like I explained. 2.24 has redesigned the paid services page. Let me actually show that to you right now. So this is the old version before anything. 2.23.2 since last December. I'm going to do this for every showcase, just so you can kind of get a main idea of what actually, is a redesign and what we did, and how the two can be so different sometimes. Don't really focus on the top half as much. We mostly did everything in the bottom half and some additional stuff as well. So, yeah, website design, website hosting, that's kind of been the same. This is also kind of the same. What does any of this stuff mean? HTML, CSS, Bootstrap is all the same. We didn't really touch on that too much. But this, the complete bottom half, other services, donation box, this little string of text over here, we completely redesigned it all. And when I mean we, I mean I, but there's some people who also did test this out too. It gave me a little bit of feedback, so I do appreciate them as well. Right. Now 2.24 brings on something a little bit more new. Right? Website design, website hosting. Don't really focus on it too much. They didn't get changed at all. I mean, Their internal structuring did change a little bit, but visually, nothing really happened with them. But this bottom half, it might look completely different to some, except the left half. The left half is mostly the same, except some additions as well. Other services, compared to, 2.23.2, 2.23.2 is just text. Text. Nothing appealing. But now they're kind of in a card format. So, website maintenance, email creation, they have their own cards. They're laid out more cleanly, more modernly. Right? They got the title, price, description. Boom. More modern. They're more visually appealing. And that's kind of what we strive for. In websites, we design stuff for companies sometimes. And you want your stuff to be visually appealing. That's kind of what this update is. 2.24 just completely adds or redesigns some things. It's not the biggest overhaul of all time, and it's actually not even close. But still, we did a lot of things. Right, on the left side, you get this new contact button, and the new, these are not guaranteed prices because some of them aren't, which only really applies to website maintenance, not email creation at all. Email creation is a fixed price, but they're on their own cards now. They're like more modern. They have their own background now compared to, text, right? And the accordion's down here as well. But we got a new clients card, which for right now is only one. We might have a second one on the way. Yeah, these are our clients who have requested a site and got a site, like, the left side says. But Stephanie's Treasures is our only client right now. There's a future one on the way, like I said, so hold on. Stephanie's Treasures won't be just by itself soon. But let me demonstrate what Stephanie's Treasures is, because we also did work on this site, right? And this also kind of goes on, right? And this is something that's, I believe, also getting released alongside 2.24. That's where we're kind of planning, right? It's a storefront. Your typical storefront. What do you think of a storefront looking like? Well, it is kind of like this, but it does have some nice features, right? So you get this hero thing right here, and you get, all these categories with, right now, free products, but again, we're adding more. This is just, that's based on a client, not us. So, it does have a Stripe redirect. What is Stripe? Well, it's a payment processor, and let me actually demonstrate it here. Right, you can add stuff to cart, and I already have stuff in the cart, so it's not going to matter. You can buy it now, right, blah, blah, blah. You can add to the cart on the main page, or like inside the card. And you can check out with Stripe, which, let me demonstrate it out here. So let's say I want to get rid of this product right here, and just buy it right now. Yeah, this is a Stripe redirect. Right. So we didn't make this part of the site. I mean, we did, but it's not ours. Okay, this is Stripe. Stripe has their own thing, right? We just kind of customize it. We can really only customize the left side of it, like the font, the image, all the technical stuff like taxes. Who wants to pay taxes? And a promotion code, blah, blah, blah. And right now, you can apply AT Prod 10. I think it's only for products above $20, but you can apply this. First time code only. Apply it, you get 10% off. And this is while the site is new. I haven't really set an end date yet. But take advantage while you can. Because it did save me $6.50. Which is a pretty big deal. Right, and yeah. You can cancel it, it'll do that, blah, blah, blah. Right, tells you this. And it does have its own contact form, which is, like any site should have a contact form. And you might notice it does look kind of similar to ours. And I'll demonstrate ours here in a little bit. But, you can put in your name, your email, message, attach a file, and I'll even demonstrate something like that. Let's say this image right here, right? Blah, blah, blah. Right, in a sense. Now, let's go something a little bit more technical. the public archive page has also been redesigned. If you don't know what the public archive page is, well, it's basically a page which contains all of our old stuff, right? Like, versions, our very old projects, important pages, unmaintained, other projects, blah, blah, blah. Excuse me. You get it, right? These just contain our old stuff, right? And this is the previous version's redesign, right? This is not 2.24. This is last version since December, right? And this has kind of been around. This specific design has kind of been around since 2.10.2, which is, back when we had this logo and all this old stuff. Yeah, I'm glad we changed. It used to be called Old Pages, right? And it kind of does look the same from last version, except now this one has this paddings and border version, border radius, while meanwhile this doesn't. It's still kind of the same thing. But now, in 2.24, this completely changes everything. Because, oops, not page services, public archive. Look at that. I'm sorry, I've been talking for a little bit, and I've had to re-record this a couple times. So my throat is kind of killing me. But I'm going to try to last as long as I can. Right, so you can see everything's different. Every single thing is different. Now you have the version, kind of like the major version, right? It has its subversions or minor ones. It has the dates, kind of when, the first update and the last update of that one specific major update has released. And description, right? It kind of shows you what majorly we did. Not technically everything, but the main points. Like new pages, new designs, new really anything, right? And you might notice this looks kind of similar to something. Our products, right, is a tab pane. It is kind of the same functionality. I'll actually show you here internally right now. Right, you can see it's kind of the same thing. Right. You can go on the left, select your version, blah, 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 right? In 2.15, because it's the only version with alpha and beta releases, which means it wasn't done, but we decided to make a milestone here, just kind of to show off what we're doing. And right, you can see they're in yellow buttons instead of blue, and it has its own description as well. And I boldly did claim 2.15 is the biggest version ever in AT Products history, because we did so much of it. You can go look at that yourself. I'm not going to really show it too much because 2.15 is not the main focus. Everything else is, right? But still, anyways. Okay, so I'm going to interrupt for a little bit. I do want to demonstrate something as well. Just the public archive itself in the new redesign has so much logic. It has a lot of things going on here. So let me show you. So, in the archive.astro, right, you can see the versions like the ID, title, dates, description, links, blah, 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 blah. But that's not the main thing, because we kind of have this in some other formats on some other components as well. I do want to demonstrate how the logic is, logicked. That's not a word. How basically Astro thinks of it. So it takes that data and woo, we got a lot of functions to go over. So it gets versions, right? And the number, the ID, they split the period, so no period. They get compared if it's newer or older, this function. And also does, labeling stuff. And if it's the newest version, well, put the newest tag on there. What you doing? Right, and 2.24 is the only version right now that's the latest. Right? So, right. Yeah, you can see here it reverses on archive.astro. It is from oldest to newest. What you saw visually was newest to oldest. That's what this does. It just reverses the order. and stuff. And yeah, it maps everything right into the visual thing you see right there. Anyways, let's get to the contact form. Okay, so now let's go to the contact form. The new file attachment option to the contact form. Let me demonstrate here. So this is the product archive, and now let's get to the contact form, which is only accessible with our main page right here, the envelope, or down at the footer. It doesn't make a difference. Right, this is our contact form, which we did demonstrate Stephanie's Treasure's contact form as well, which is kind of the same thing. Right, you can name, email, basically a message. It just says information to send. We might change that here anyways, but yeah, the new file attachment option is kind of different from what you would usually see on a regular Bootstrap page, because actually, let me demonstrate it here, because we did have to customize it a lot. Right, this is hold on, I believe it is file input right here. So this is how it usually is supposed to be. Right, they don't really have a form floating kind of thing, so we're going to make that ourselves with a little bit of JS and CSS. Right, and you can attach a file, media, videos, GIFs, but they can't be above 10 megabytes because that's just how Netflix does it. Excuse me. Right, so let's attach this. Deep Dusk. Boom. Let's send it. Thanks for your submission. We'll reach out to you soon. And let me actually demonstrate something as well. You might wonder how I see these, submissions, right? So let's go to contact form on Netflix. These are verified submissions. Yes, I have spam submissions, blah, 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 spam. Right, and I can see the image right here is in his own link, right? It says something really weird. It's like attach a file, optional, select the file. It's not meant to be like that, but, it is just the way it is. Yeah, I can see my own image, right there. Cool. That's really the contact form. That's just really about it. Okay, so I did want to demonstrate two new things on the paid services page. You see this donation box right there? Donate here and watch advertisements are two new buttons that, you can help support me without, paying for any of these packages. If you don't want a website or, any of these other services as well, you can just donate or watch advertisements, right? So, you can also send it to my Cash App as well if you really wanted to, but I'm not making you. So, make a donation. I'm sorry, I can't read. I can't. Every contribution helps us sustain our work. You can enter any amount above $1 and secretly below 1 million, but who wants to send anything even close to that? And your payment will be processed securely through Stripe, which, yes, just like Stephanie's Treasures, we got our own Stripe redirect. Right? And that's how kind of we're making people pay for packages is Stripe right now. Their own links. So if you're curious and buying a package, you're going to get payment through Stripe. But anyways, right, so let's say I want to make $500 donation. Even then, that might seem a little much. But thank you for your work. Thank you for your payment. I'm kidding. You don't have to send. I'm not making anybody make a donation, but that would be really nice. That'd help me pay for my things as well. So yeah, this is our Stripe redirect. That was our logo. A little bit of custom font going on. Kind of. I don't know if you can really tell the difference, but still, it's a Stripe redirect. It looks cool, and it just looks cool. If you don't want to actually pay me for money, but you still want to support my work, you can see advertisements. Boom. Advertisements. Right now it's all littered with ads, so I'll go over that here in a minute. But our pages are ad-free. What does that mean? No advertisements on our pages at all, except this one, of course. Makes sense. And it's just because I believe advertisements are just really intrusive. Like, I gotta, watch them or, see them just to, access my page. I don't believe in that. And that's why I have an ad blocker as well. I understand some of y'all, but you know, I just don't believe in advertisements. So if you want to support my work, my ad-free work, and you don't want to send any money, you can just watch these advertisements right here, or just look at them. I don't know. And this model does demonstrate kind of what I just said, right? If you want to support us further, please consider visiting our paid products or actually paid services. I'll have to fix that. Right, color toggle, blah blah. Right. Yeah, nobody likes light mode anyways. So yeah, has its own mobile design and stuff too. It looks cool. Okay, it just looks cool. And of course, with that, since we do have a Stripe redirect now, and it's not everything for Cash App, our paid services and website creation policies and terms have been updated. I'm not going to go really much for that, but if you do want to pay for our paid services, I'm sorry, I can't speak anymore. I re-recorded that so many times. I am so sorry. But yeah, if you do want to go for our paid services, I recommend you look for this. Um, yeah, just look for them. Okay, I just recommend that you do, just in case. So, all right, yep, that's all I got for you on that. But yeah, that's really all I got for you. Right, I did talk about this a little bit, and also demonstrate some of the other changelog as well, if I can find it in here. Right. Yeah, revert CSP to Netflix.com instead of Astro. Right. So there's CSP in here now instead of the experimental Astro version as well inside of its own config. Putting it back in Netflix.com is more secure with headers and stuff and blah 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 blah. It just makes sense to put it in here instead. So why not? Right. Yeah. That's really about it. That's all I got. 2.24 is a pretty big update. There's more stuff in here as well, but that's really all I got for you. 2.24 is just a really big update with dependencies and stuff like that. So thank you for watching this probably very boring video for you, but I thought it was fun. So see y'all probably the next 6 months anyway. So see you later. Oh yeah, by the way, it is Super Bowl Sunday. Let's go Seahawks, bro. Let's go. Let's go, bro. Go.